Right, so it's official. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk, the unified, he's not undisputed anymore, Usyk, but he's the unified heavyweight world champion. And he came dressed as a hitman, which is a character from a video game which was also made into...
Carl Froch has begun his back and forth with Tyson Fury again after Tyson Fury's latest training footage and outburst against Alexander Usyk. As expected, Carl Froch wouldn't troll Tyson Fury without picking on his father, and he surely did that as well, claiming Tyson would do his best only to have a loss again, as long as John Fury remains in his team.
Tyson Fury lost the fight fair and square, although it was a very close, let's be honest, it was a close fight. But I think if Tyson Fury would have upped it, I think Usyk would have upped his game as well.
To Carl Froch, he believes Tyson Fury is actually working hard to avoid a repeat of May 18th on December 21st, but everything seems like a joke as long as he has John Fury in his corner. Nottinghamshire boxing legend Carl Froch has told Tyson Fury to consider distancing his father from the team as he ramps up training for the anticipated bout with Alexander Usyk. The advice comes after John Fury, Tyson's dad, drew negative attention for his disruptive behavior at the recent Tommy Fury vs. Darren Till press event. At the launch conference, despite an initially respectful tone between Tommy and Till, things took a turn when John began squirting water at Till, leading to a fracas that required security intervention to keep the two fighters apart before tensions diffused.
Tyson probably knows that actually, listen Dad, you've got your best intentions at heart, and you want me to win, you want me to do the business, but do me a favour, stay out of the way.
In an interview with Action Network, Froch criticized Fury Sr.'s behavior. The usual pathetic childish behavior from a grown man. Darren Till did have a lot to say, and he was very vocal, but at the end of the day, it's not about him. It's about Darren Till and Tommy Fury. So why is Big John Fury, the fighting man, getting involved? At the end of the day, he is a guy who wants some attention. He's a man who has never achieved anything. His son Tyson Fury is obviously very good. He's a top fighter, and we know what he's all about. I know he just lost to Alexander Usyk, but I don't pay attention to him.
So hopefully Fury just sits back, keeps his mouth shut, watches his son and wills him on to win. Maybe he's in the camp, maybe he's helping him and just keeping the distance and letting the real trainers do the job. But yeah, no Big John Fury, I missed him. Where's John? Where's Big John? Does anybody...
Tyson Fury, on the other hand, is preparing for his eagerly awaited rematch against Usyk. After his first professional loss to the Ukrainian in May, Fury is keen to even the score. When asked about his strategy for the upcoming fight, Tyson indicated that he won't be making any significant changes to his approach or team. Not much time, he said. I know what I've got to do, nothing drastic. People can say, I want to change trainers, or I'll blame it on my conditioning coach, or I'll blame it on the cook, or I'll blame it on the mouse next door. Same team, same everything. I know what I've got to do.
The fact that Tony Bellew and Carl Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. And I'm making the biggest bags that's ever existed.
Months ago, after Carl Froch slammed Tyson Fury for avoiding Alexander Usyk to face Francis Ngannou, former World Boxing Council heavyweight champion, Tyson Fury hit back at criticism of his decision to face boxing debutant Francis Ngannou in a 10-round non-title bout in the Saudi Arabian capital of Riyadh on October 28th. Prior to the fight, it was clear that the 35-year-old Brit was eschewing a bout against the former World Boxing Association, World Boxing Organization, and International Boxing Federation heavyweight champion, and now undisputed world heavyweight champion, Alexander Usyk, in favor of the big money bout against former Ultimate Fighting Championship heavyweight champion, Ngannou instead.
The game changer, the big game changer. What's his name? Ngannou. Tyson Fury against Ngannou. So a crossover fight, boxing, MMA. Been there, seen it, heard it all before. See it with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. It's a load of rubbish. Nobody's interested anymore.
And the two retired former world champions who were particularly vocal about their dismay in Fury's decision are Carl Froch and Tony Bellew. Their comments ruffled the feathers of the self-styled Gypsy King. See these damn balls? Lick them, idiot, Fury said. The fact that Bellew and Froch didn't make any money out of the game is obviously hurtful to them. I've just signed the biggest deal in boxing history, which I can't divulge to you right now. They're like all these media suckers. Mention Tyson Fury's name to try and get some clickbait. But without me, there ain't no fucking boxing. I run the game. Froch called out Fury for disrespecting the sport and its fans.
It's not classy, is it? To talk about money, it's not classy at all. Me and Tony Bellew, and I can talk for Tony because I know he had a couple of lucrative fights on pay-per-view.
It's not classy to talk about money at all. Me and Tony, we've done all right. We've got out of the sport with our health intact, financially free, physically and mentally in a good place, he said on his YouTube channel, Froch on Fighting. He then continued saying, I'm an average fighter. Your CV doesn't stack up against mine. It just doesn't. You've got 4 wins over world champions, 4. Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko in a real stinker. Horrible fight. Deontay Wilder 3 times and you beat him twice. I've got 11 wins over world champions. Lennox Lewis, what's he got? 14?
We've done all right. We've got out of the sport financially free with, more importantly, our health intact. We're physically and mentally in a good place.
I'll tell you something. You can have as much money as you want in your wallet. You turn up to the Hall of Fame party next year and you won't be dining on the top table with me, any of my peers, because you won't belong there with that CV. Froch, however, added, advising Tyson Fury to instead mind his business and concentrate on real fights. You should be defending your title, fighting other champions. How long have you got in the game? 2-3 more fights? It's a waste to take these crossover fights. You're killing off the fans. They're turning against you. It's sad to see.
It's nonsensical. We don't need to know about it because...
I mean, heavyweight is just a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
The heavyweights tend to make all the money they do over decades of boxing.
Deep down, I think you know you're hurting the sport. Get in that ring with a real fighter like Alexander Usyk or Anthony Joshua. Fury first became world champion 8 years ago when he dethroned World Boxing Association, World Boxing Organization, and International Boxing Federation champion Vladimir Klitschko by unanimous decision in Germany in a slow-paced fight with a low punch output.
Steve Cunningham, an old cruiserweight. Vladimir Klitschko, you beat him in an absolute stinker. I was there that night. All right, you won. Nobody thought you could win. You got the belts. Fair play to you.
In the wake of the victory, he announced his retirement and didn't box again for over a year and a half. His second title run began in February 2020 when he annexed the World Boxing Council belt from Deontay Wilder in their rematch by 7th round knockout in Las Vegas. He then defended the title 3 times with knockout victories over Wilder, Dillian White, and Derek Chisora before losing to Alexander Usyk in a bout that would have seen him become the first undisputed world heavyweight champion should he have emerged victorious. However, he's been giving another shot at that just recently, with everything now set for Tyson Fury to get his second chance at cementing his name on history books as one of the all-time greats and the less than 30 undisputed world heavyweight champions in history.
7, 8. Wilder is exhausted. Fury down goes Wilder again for the second time in the fight. 4, 5, 6.
Necessarily, Tyson Fury has officially activated a rematch clause to fight Alexander Usyk, according to top-ranked Chief Executive Officer Bob Arum. The Ukrainian defeated Fury in May in a split decision victory to become the first fighter since Lennox Lewis defeated Evander Holyfield in 1999 to unify the belts.
That did. I loved it. What next now for Tyson Fury?
Well, there's a rematch clause, and Tyson has exercised the rematch clause.
Speaking to a news source, Carl Froch said, "What's Usyk now? 37 years old? So he's slowing down, but he's got the ability to have a couple of close rounds, not lose the round, and say, right, I struggled there." He goes back to his corner and then just lays it on. He gets behind more feints, more footwork, more aggression with the body language. He doesn't even have to throw a punch. He won't allow Fury to just lean on him and outweigh him.
And I think Usyk's going to beat Fury. I just think it's close, it's tight. With the way Fury struggled against Ngannou, I just think it's a tough fight for Fury to win because Alexander Usyk doesn't know how to lose.
And after the match, Carl Froch claimed Tyson Fury wasn't so bad as he performed well in a few rounds, but ultimately, he was the second best man in the ring on the night. Carl Froch also blasted referee Mark Nelson and claimed Tyson Fury was really helped by the referee and the result would have been so different if Mark Nelson had not intervened in Fury's favor. Finally, Carl Froch highlighted the embarrassing display by Tyson Fury's corner as 3 men, Sugar Hill, Andy Lee, and John Fury, all tried to shout the instructions into his ears.
On Tyson's chin, his legs went, and then he stumbled onto the rope. So what happened there was, because he was kept up by the ropes, it's still classed as a knockdown. He would have fallen over if the ropes weren't there. So the referees...
John Fury was the most prominent of the three, despite being the least experienced. He was seen speaking closely to his son's ears, trying to raise the instructions. Speaking on an episode of TalkSport's The Verdict podcast with George Groves, the former unified super middleweight champion said Carl Froch was particularly vocal about removing Fury Sr., but when you've got three people, including Big John Fury, the fighting man, he said with a bit of humor, when you've got him in the corner shouting and screaming at you, whilst you've got two other people giving you advice, that means you're listening to absolutely nobody.
One, because I didn't. I got Robert McCracken 95% of the time, and then I had Tony Sims, Joe Cordina's man. He was doing my cuts. I also had a guy called Mark Seltzer, but he didn't really give me much. He just gave me a little look and a nod and a wink. But Robert McCracken was the main voice.
He continued, I thought that was terrible and really unprofessional in his corner. He shouldn't be in there anymore. His coach, Sugar Hill, knows everything about the game. He was trying to give him instructions. How can Tyson focus on Sugar Hill and take on those instructions when he's got John Fury shouting down his ear and talking stuff to him through the ropes? However, the Cobra has questioned Fury's hunger and believes money is now his sole motivation, and this was part of why Fury had to react. Froch continued by questioning Tyson Fury's motivation.
And is quite sort of nonchalant with his body language, and it's disrespectful, and people don't like it. You know, if you're at the top and you're representing your sport and yourself and your country.
I think now Tyson Fury's realized the legacy's probably not intact like he'd like it to be, Froch added. So now I think he's just concentrating on the money. I overheard a soundbite when he was in the ring, and he looked over at Turki Alalshik, who's the entertainment guy out in Saudi, and he looked at him. He goes, let's get the rematch on, show me the money. As if that's the only thing he's interested in now, just making some more money before he retires. But I don't know how that will settle with him when he looks in the mirror and his head hits the pillow. How does that settle with him? Froch again commented on Fury firing his father. He had questioned the professionalism of his corner, and then he was questioning his hunger and motivation. John Fury interfering in Tyson's corner could have been the difference between winning and losing, said Froch.
He's been a fantastic fighter. He's had an unbelievable career, but he's not what he thinks or what he's telling everybody or what Big John Fury is telling everybody. How he's unbeaten and no man born from his mother can beat him.
It's impossible. You can't listen to two people at once? That could have been the difference between winning and losing in a close fight. That interference in the corner could have cost Tyson the fight. And on hearing about the allegations against Tyson Fury, John Fury, and Mark Nelson, Carl Froch was quick to hurl verbal stones at the Fury, claiming it was clear for all to see that an underground work had been done.
Were confused. The referee, to be fair, had a bit of a stinker because he was getting involved when Fury was under pressure, when Usyk was landing left hook, right hook, left hook, double left hook.
It was clear for all to see that something was wrong about the outcome. I don't doubt it. John Fury is a desperate man. He can really go to that extent. I'm just disappointed in Mark Nelson with his level of experience. He should really be doing better. He also added, hoping the trio get the rightful punishment for their atrocity. Sure, they all have to be severely punished. In fact, they could have a look at his previous fights and investigate them. There could be something fishy as well. Once this is confirmed, I do not see any rematch. I don't think he has the motivation to come back from the punishments this will bring. The Furies are a shame to boxing. As you would expect, Carl Froch wasn't the only one to be vocal about the referee's questionable display during the match. Froch's former sparring partner and good friend, Tony Bellew, had also commented few days after the fight.
For the finish, the referee kind of jumps into, I don't know, he's in between decisions, and it was bad referee, and I don't want to give the referee stick, but I'll be honest, it was confusing.
Notably, Tony Bellew got knocked out by Alexander Usyk in November 2018, and he believed Tyson Fury would have suffered the same fate as he did if the in-ring official didn't make an error in Tyson's favor. Without being too harsh, it should have been stopped in the 9th round, he said during a live show on TV. Well, Usyk should have been allowed to continue punching in the 9th round. That should have never been a count, and the referee knows he made a mistake. He then continued, in professional boxing, you don't get a standing count unless you are about to hit the floor and the ropes keep you up. Fury was stumbling around. He stumbled 4 times previously to the 5th stumble. It was on the 5th stumble he jumped in. He claimed Usyk would have won before the bell rang, as just 2 more punches would have ended the fight 3 rounds earlier than it did. Alexander Usyk only needs 2 more punches there, and it's the end of the contest. That was stolen from him. The former WBC cruiserweight champion was thankful that the right man won in the end, even if some fans were unhappy with one judge giving Fury the decision. Bellew added, "Ultimately, forget about that now because I want boxing to be put out there as the greatest spectacle sport in the world. The most important thing is the right man got the decision. There was no corruption with judges and no controversy." The right man won, and we have an undisputed, unified, 4-belt heavyweight champion of the world for the first time in boxing history. It's a sentiment echoed by the winner himself, who said it's not something he's going to dwell on. Fury has already insisted he will exercise the rematch clause in his contract, but some people are suggesting he may retire after his first career defeat. The Bomber was of the belief that 2 things will convince him to run it back with Usyk. Money dictates everything when it comes to boxing, and you're looking for an absolute fortune. This boy is going to get to face a rematch, Bellew said. He's not fighting for the money. He just wanted to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. He might just get a second go at that. I'm not so sure he will, because I think these belts might be broken up now. Listen, that fight on Saturday night was a memorable night, a great event. Alexander Usyk was unbelievable, and so was Tyson Fury. Being that Tony Bellew understood what it was like to be in the ring with Alexander Usyk, he never gave Tyson Fury a shot before the fight, predicting in favor of Usyk. Tony Bellew believes Usyk's ability to set traps sets him apart from other heavyweights after feeling his full force in their cruiserweight contest back in 2018. When I fought him nearly 6 years ago, I had a small idea of what to expect. But when you're in the ring with him, it's totally different, Bellew told a news source.
Fury Usyk, and I did mention that night that you had against Usyk. Tony, briefly, as painful as the memory probably is, still.
His brain and feet are on another level to pretty much anything I've ever encountered. And don't forget that I was an amateur who went all around the world sparring boxers from some of the most decorated countries. He then recalled his fight with Usyk 6 years ago. You never feel fully in control with Usyk, and I've always believed that being able to fight calmly when under pressure is one of the biggest assets a fighter can have.
At times, whereas with someone like Tyson Fury, he's now and that is the worst thing in the world you can do.
His slight movement with his feet and his feints always have you thinking, and his ability to set traps you don't even see coming is something else. Also, Bellew anticipates Fury trying to use his size and versatility to bully his opponent, but feels Usyk will be too good on the night. In Fury, Usyk will have a big problem to solve because Fury is also an intelligent fighter, and if he uses his size the way he should, he can cause Usyk some serious issues, the former world boxing cruiserweight champion added.
Problems early on because of his size and because of his weight, but ultimately he will adapt and adjust, and he will take over the fight, and he will win on points unanimously.
Tony, you were slightly breaking up.
Fury's ability to fight from both stances and his movement for such a big man means that he can also make his opponents think non-stop. If you want another example of his variety, then look at his fight with Klitschko, where he essentially bullied the veteran champion. He also added, detailing Fury's advantages over Usyk as well.
I picked Usyk from day one. I think Tyson Fury stood the best chance of beating him when he was with his uncle Peter Fury, because that's when he was a unorthodox, big, awkward fighter who used his size. And
Fury's versatility is a major strength because we can look at various stages of his career and see that he can always find a way to win. Bulldozing Deontay Wilder, wrestling with Vladimir Klitschko, overcoming cuts and knockdowns, this is a fighter who always finds a way. But I'm not sure that happens against Usyk. Fury has shown he can be hit and hurt by boxers nowhere near the level of Usyk, and that's a concern against a man who is so accurate.
and his attributes to his advantage and his awkwardness to his advantage. Now that he's this fighter who likes to press fighters and look for a knockout under the brilliant, Sugar Hill Stewart at the Kronk, he's a different fighter, Jim. He's someone who looks for the knockout. That's music to Alexander's ear.
Fury will push on and try to impose his size and strength, but I just see Usyk being too good and winning on the scorecards to add another impressive addition to his already incredible record. As long as there's no controversy from officials, this is Usyk's fight on points. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.